What's up, YouTube? It has been a long time since I've made a video on this channel, and some things have changed in my life. And basically, I'm feeling a lot better, and things are working better for me right now. And it feels like this is the time to get back into the old 240SX project. So I don't remember what the last video I even made on that car was, but I know it's been a long time. And I know that a lot of you guys actually subscribe to this channel because I was doing a 8-speed 8 HP 70 transmission swap in that car, and so I was doing a lot of videos on it at one point in time, and the channel was starting to get some traction. And then I was using the HTG GCU transmission ECU at the time, and then that whole company is not even in business anymore. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that now, but I fell victim to that whole debacle, and that was a big part of why I pulled the 8-speed out, threw away the GCU, didn't get rid of all the parts. I kept the trans and the drive shaft because I knew I wanted to go back to that transmission in the future. So I have the trans, I have the drive shaft, and I have the trans mount still for this chassis. So lots of stuff has changed in my life. Things are actually going extremely well for me now again, finally, after a long period of just things not going so well on lots of different levels for me. So I'm coming out of that. I'm feeling good, and because of that, I'm feeling like it's time to work on the cars again, which I am so excited and just thankful to finally be feeling better. So I'll save you all the backstory behind that. Maybe we'll cover it in another video, though, because I would like to talk about it, but it's not car specific. So we'll talk about that some other time. But anyway, the 240 is now has been turbo LS for a long time. Now it has a T56 with a monster twin disc. So that's what the car's been like for the last couple of years since I pulled the 8 HP out. And it's worked really well. The car's pretty fun to drive. The transmission's good. The clutch is fantastic. But I've basically decided that I'm done with LSs. The whole LS thing, I'm over it. I'm not an LS guy. I've been an LS guy for a lot of years now, but really I was just trying to convince myself I was an LS guy the entire time. It's not true to me. It's not true to who I am. It's not true to my past, my import thing. I don't like V8s. They're just not my thing. I don't like the big rumbly cammed up thing that's loud all the time. I don't dislike it for other people. I think it's cool when I see it. I don't want it in my car. That's all that it comes down to. And so it took me a long time to develop this LS in my car. Blew it up several times, rebuilt it stronger, went through all sorts of dramas, and raced it, ran 9 seconds in the quarter mile. It just takes a long time to get through all that. And for me, it took years and years to get through all that and to finally come to the realization that, yeah, it's done and it works, but I don't actually like it. So when you spend that much time and money on something, sometimes you can't really change because you can't really admit that you're on the wrong path. You're too heavily invested in it to go back, you feel like. So I'm finally to the point where I'm fine getting rid of it, and I'm admitting to myself that I'm a 4-cylinder guy, I'm a rotary guy. I would do a 5-cylinder. I would even probably do an import 6-cylinder in the right scenario. I'm just saying I'm not a V8 guy, and I like smaller motors. The MR2 here has a 4-cylinder in it, and it makes the best turbo sounds of all time. It makes all the turbo pops and whistles and whines. And when I got that car done, that was my first experience with those sounds in a car ever, and I fell in love. It is so fun and gratifying to drive a car that makes good sounds. And we all kind of know that, but until you experience it for your own self, you don't truly know it. And this car was the first time I ever truly was able to experience that for my own self. And this little car, I'll flip the camera around here. This little car has a fully built Gen 4 3S GTE with a turbo upgrade down there and standalone ECU and all the goodies. And this thing just sounds super good. Yeah, like I said, makes all the best sounds in the world. Whereas this car here just does not do that. It just sounds like an LS all the time. No matter what you do, it just sounds like an LS. No good turbo sounds, no good blow-off sounds in most situations. I can't even hear it. Can't hear the wastegate, and the exhaust just sounds like every turbo LS you've ever heard. So I didn't get the good sounding experience in this project ever. So that's one thing. But what else? So I guess the point of this video is to update you on the project and say that we're actually selling all this that you can see here. I just listed it on Marketplace today, and I have people reaching out to me already, so that probably means I priced it too cheap, but I don't really care. I just want to get it gone for a fair amount of money that gives me enough money to get rolling on the next setup. So I have listed this morning at $8,500. That includes the entire engine and transmission and the turbo kit. So the whole chunk there. It does not include the wiring harness and the ECU, but I will include those for the right price if a buyer wants that. If you want to swap all this into a 240SX, you probably want that, maybe, or maybe not. You may or may not, but if that price is interesting to you, you can reach out to me and see if it's still available. But I really priced it for somebody who just wants to put this in any chassis. So that would be the turbo kit, the engine, top to bottom, and the transmission. You could pop that in literally any chassis, from a hot rod to a truck or anything. It's probably going to fit every single car you'd ever want that in, except for a car that's smaller than this, like a Miata. You might have problems with a turbo or something. But so that's why I priced it without the ECU. But if you wanted it in a 240, you could buy the ECU and wiring harness too if you want. And you could essentially have a total drop-in swap for a 240SX. I will say my motor mounts and transmission mount they don't go with it because they won't work in your 240, because I modified my cross member to make these mounts work. And you're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to just buy some 240 specific LS mounts off eBay, which are now available for cheap, which were not available back when I did this swap. But you can just buy those mounts for cheap. Same thing with a trans member. So you could get a whole drop-in package for a 240 here, less the mounts, which you could then go buy for relatively cheap on eBay. So making it a whole drop-in package for you. So that's one option. So we're selling all that. And so what are we doing different with the car? So it's going to be a roller at that point, right? So clean slate. Obviously we're doing I was going to go point this camera at the Dodge transmission, but it's not in here. Where did I put that? Anyway, it's not in here. What we're doing is putting the Dodge 8 HP transmission back in and the drive shaft. So that takes care of everything up to the firewall. Then we need engine and power, right? So this is another cool thing about time going by and the market developing and so forth. You can now bolt any common engine you want to the Dodge 8 HP because the aftermarket has jumped on with adapter plates. Now you can bolt anything to the front of one of these Dodges. So at that point, I've got a roller that has everything solved from the back to the firewall. Now I can literally just pick and choose whatever engine I want, and there will be a mounting solution for it. So having said that, I'm probably going to do a Honda K20 or K24 because everybody now knows that those are super amazing engines. I think you can make like 600 horsepower without even cracking the block open. I think that's probably pushing it, but I know a lot of people have done it. So really good engine, common, available, pretty cheap, I think. And adapter plate is available, and rear wheel drive swap components are also available. Like you can get pre-made rear wheel drive swap oil pans for them. I think the intake manifold is common and easy to get. And I think they'll clear the hood. I do need to verify that because I'm not cutting my hood, but pretty positive there's no hood clearance issues on that. So we're probably going to be Honda K24 Dodge 8 HP swap. And that's probably what's going to happen to the car. So I'm super excited about that. All I really need to do right now is go ahead and get the LS stuff sold. And then I'm going to go on a mad hunt for all the components it takes to convert this thing over. ECU change for sure. I'm going to put this car, it looks like I'm going to put it on a max ECU. Another cool thing about the aftermarket maturing and developing over the last couple of years since I tried this last time is that there are now a bunch of good ECU options available in the marketplace. I think the best one for a project that is starting over from scratch is an ECU that can control both the engine and the transmission. That way you get all the control in one box. You're not running a box to do this and a box to do that. I've been in that situation too. It works, but you end up spending more money, more boxes that have to communicate to each other, more support docs, more having to call support for this company and support for this company and try to get things to talk together. And then if you want to hire a tuner, you got to have a tuner that's familiar with both boxes. And so it complicates stuff when you run two different boxes for a job that one box could potentially do. And the Max ECU is the one box on the market now that can do both. I think maybe Fuel Tech can do it too, but I'm not a Fuel Tech guy. I ain't about that Fuel Tech stuff. I have not heard good things about them. I have heard lots of good things about Max ECU for several years now, and we have a tuner here locally His name's Drazen Mead. You guys maybe have heard of Drazen. He's quite popular in the quite popular in the 8 HP world, the DCT swap world, and the Turbo LS world. He's a very successful tuner. Well, he just lives like I think 45 minutes from me. So Drazen, I'm going to hire Drazen to tune the whole combo when it's up and running, so that's just one thing I don't have to do. A bunch of stuff I don't have to learn, and that's one thing I have learned from doing all these project cars over the years is if you're a hyper DIY guy like me and you think you need to have your fingers in every single component of the car, from the wiring to the tuning to the fabrication to the paint you can do that. I've done it, but my gosh, it's too much. Your project will take way too long. I don't regret it because I got to have all those experiences. I got to learn all those skills, which is why I did it. I wanted to learn it. Now that I've learned it, I can now hire somebody else and feel like I will know if they're doing a good job or not because I'll understand what they're doing. And I can just let them do a good job. And if there's a problem, I'll understand the problem too, and I can communicate better with them because I've done it before. So since I've had all that experience, now I don't want to do the ECU tuning anymore. I want somebody to do it. I don't want to do the wiring either. I've done that. So like there's a lot of things that I don't want to do anymore. So if possible, I'm going to have Drazen just do all the tuning for this for me, is what I'm, long story short. So anyway, yeah, I think that's just the update on the 240 back there. She's losing the Turbo LS. She's losing the T56. She's going back to the 8 HP, probably going to use the Dodge, one that I still have. Here's one little hitch in the works here. That Dodge 8 HP that I have that I want to reuse, I had to actually cut out the factory TCU that's in the oil pan. I had to cut that thing out to use the HTG GCU back in the day. Because I cut it out, I can no longer use that whole mechatronic unit that's down there in the oil pan. So now I got to go buy another mechatronic unit, take the oil pan off, install it. Problem with that is you basically can't find mechatronic units. Like, nobody pulls them out and sells them, right? So probably what I'm going to have to do is go back to the junkyard and buy a whole nother Dodge 8 HP70 transmission. And then this one I got will just be backup for parts, I guess. So anyway, it's not a big problem. This transmission I paid $400 for. I'm assuming I can get another one for probably about that same price. So it's not a huge loss. It's just kind of another unfortunate chapter in the HTG saga that happened a couple of years ago. But I'm over that. No ill will to them or whatever. That's all in the past. We're moving forward. So anyway, I'll update you guys soon. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and I'll catch you on the next one.